board, little teaching here that I came across in Degel Machne Ephraim, the famous grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, whose book is called Degel Machne Ephraim. And this is Moshe Chaim Ephraim, who is one of the treasures that he brings to us is that he grew up sitting in the lap of the Baal Shem Tov, and a lot of the Torah that he shares is these awesome quotes, things that he heard directly from the master. So here we go, and I want to say that it's particularly inspired me because it's so easy in life to get involved in a project and forget what it's all about, forget the purity of the initial impulse, initial intent. And I want to not forget the purity of the purpose of learning with you online. I learn because I just love to learn. This gives me a deep emotional and spiritual joy to grapple with text and with Torah. And the term Torah lishma, Torah for its own sake, is a term in Hebrew and in the rabbinic parlance and world of spiritual engagement through textual wrestling. It's a very important value. It is studying for the sake of studying, not for the sake of earning a degree or for the sake of earning money or for the sake of any kind of gain, fame, recognition, stature, lots of likes on YouTube and on Facebook. Sure, I would love to have thousands and thousands of people subscribing to our YouTube channel. But am I doing it for that? I want to not forget that I'm doing this for its own sake, because the value of studying Torah in and of itself, according to our masters, according to our sages, and according to my own experience, is the practice. It is the spiritual practice. It's the way to God. It's the way to my own heart, to your own heart. When I say I by the mean, I always mean the proverbial I. That means it's an invitation for each one of us, as you hear that I, to apply that to your I, to yourself. Okay, because this is about internal work, about internal movement, internal growth, and it's the inside me, which is the inside in the me that is you. Okay, so that's the invitation. Let's jump right in with great gratitude to Rabbi Moshe Chaim Ephraim, the Degel Machne Ephraim. So he's commenting here on a verse from the Parsha. V'chiper al bnei Yisrael mikol chatatam achat bashana. So the high priest would atone for Bnei Israel, the people of Israel, for all their wrongdoings, all their missings of the mark, achat bashana, once in a year. That's the literal phrase. ונבאר גם בנפש לכל עת על הדרך הידוע כי התורה מכפרת עוון. And let us look at this verse through the level of nefesh. It's a Hasidic method or paradigm to look at each verse at least through three different lenses. It's called Ashan. One is through Olam, the other is through Shana, and the last is through Nefesh. So Olam is in practicality in this world. And the Shana is through the lens of time, Nefesh is through the lens of soul. He says, let's look at this verse through that particular lens of Nefesh, of soul. And from that perspective, he reminds us that there's a Midrash, Kohelet Rabbah 9, verse 16 and 15, and it says, Ki haTorah mechaperet avon. So the study of Torah is mechaper, it's atoning. Just like Yom Kippur is atoning, the practice of Yom Kippur and the high priest in ancient times was to atone, to make up for, to rectify the wrongdoings of the year before. And he reminds us that there's a midrashic understanding that the Torah itself, the study of Torah itself, has that function of atoning. So let me continue. B'sha'ah she'chacham yoshev v'doresh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu mechaper avonetem shel Israel. When a student of Torah, an adept, sits and expounds on the Torah and teaches Torah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, blessed be, is atoning their wrongdoings, the wrongdoings of Israel, of the people of Israel. ובוודאי איזהו תורה מחפרת, and he says, now it is clear what kind of Torah has that power to atone for our wrongdoings. Torah lishma, Torah for its own sake. So, I mean, that nuance, is very important here. It's critical. Because if I sit down to study Torah to atone for my sins, there's a gain. I'm already expecting something. That won't work. It's very important to notice that. But if I sit down to study Torah, not self-conscious, not wanting to have any kind of gain, but really just for the love of it, for the value of it, for the spiritual power, the spiritual connection that affords. We can talk about that, how that works a little bit later. I have some thoughts about it, and I'm sure you have. So we can have that conversation also, later in the comments if you want to. So the question is, how is Torah study a portal to spiritual connection? We know that it's more intuitive to think that prayer is, because I'm literally in conversation with God. Meditation is contemplation. I'm literally opening up a space. I'm quieting down to have an opening to what comes from above, or what I can offer to the above, to the higher realms. But the study, the intellectual analysis and engagement with Torah, how is that a portal? Love to hear your answer, and I have some thoughts about that too. ובוודאי איזהו תורה מחפרת, Torah lishma. It's the study of Torah for its own sake that has the power to atone, like Yom Kippur, for our missing of the mark. כי שלא לשמה חס וחלילה תבלי דלה אתברי. Because the Torah for gain, God forbid, he says, and he quotes here in Aramaic, it was better for it that it had not been created. V'inyan lishma hainu l'shem Adonai. And the meaning of Torah for its own sake, lishma, is for the sake of Adonai, for the sake of the Holy One. Kayadua b'chtavim, as it is well known in the classical texts, b'chtavim, v'nei yesh Adonai ila'a, v'Adonai tata. Now I was going to get into a little bit of a Kabbalistic cosmology that we may or may not be familiar with, but we'll run through it. And he says, as it is written, and he's hinting to as it is written in the Kabbalistic text. There is a supreme God. V'Adonai Tata, there's a God that's lower, that's more in our domain. Adonai Ila hi b'chinat ima ila'a. So the Godhead, let me not say God, I'm a little feel funny saying God, a lower God and a higher God. That's almost sounds blasphemous, but let me say there's the Godhead, the part of the Godhead or the God field that is supreme, and the Godhead that's more imminent, more in the realm of our experience. It says, B'chinat Ila'a is B'chinat Ima, so that is the aspect of the mother, or the supreme mother, Ima Ila'a. You'll connect that to the sphere of Bina. V'Hashem Tata, hi b'B'chinat Ima Tata, and then the Godhead, that's the lower, that's the imminent, is in the aspect of the lower mother. V'zeu sod Yom HaKippurim, and this is the secret of Yom HaKippurim, the holiday. Shnei Kippurim kayadua. Kippur means atone. Kippurim is the plural. So he says, why Kippurim? Why is it Yom Kippurim and not Yom Kippur, as we say, Yom Kippur? Why do we say Yom Kippurim, plural? He says, obviously, because there are two Kippurim. There are two atonements. And these two Kippurim are on two levels, the supernal mother and the imminent mother. כידוע נמצא מי שלומד תורה לשמה בכוונה הנ"ל, אזי נעשה אצלו יום כיפורים ממש. So it is well known that we find that a person who studies Torah for its own sake with this intention, then then that study with the intention of touching the supernal mother and the lower mother becomes as if it was an actual Yom Kippur observance, and it functions that way. גם יש להבין זה על פי דברי אבי, אדוני זקני, זיכרונו, זכר צדיק לברכה. Here he's referring to my father, my master, my elder. He's actually talking about the holy Baal Shem Tov. שאמר, אינו דומה שונה פרקו 100 פעמים לשונו פרקו 100 פעמים ואחד. He would say, he would quote from the Gemara, from Chagiga, Tractate Chagiga, chapter page 9. It says, you cannot compare the person who repeats their study 100 times to the person who repeats their study 101 times. And the Baal Shem Tov explains, what is that one? What's the difference of that one? You know, what's the difference? What's the leap from 100 to 101? Because then the person is integrating into his or her study the one God, the one, who is the master, the champion of the universe, v'hu Torah lishma, and that is the act of studying Torah for its own sake. When we integrate, when we integrate the Holy One, the One, into our Torah study, and that's that leap. After I've chewed on it for 100 times, the 101 time is when I sort of quantum leap. I open up to allow another presence, another dimension to enter into my study. והוא אלוף בינה, לכן מוחלים לו כל עוונותיו. And this is in the sphere of Bina, according to the Sefirot. And once a person enters into that place, which is the place of the Mother, Supreme Mother, then all wrongdoings, all mistakes, all errors, all, I don't like the word sins, but sins is another way to refer to that in simple parlance. all those are forgiven. שנעשה בחינת יום הכיפורים ממש, שהוא סוד עולם הבינה. As this study becomes as if it is a Yom Kippur, and that is the secret, or I would say also the energy of the world of Bina, the sphere of Bina. ולכן כשהחכם יושב ודורש, that is why when a scholar, when an adept sits and expounds on Torah, he or she are in fact studying Torah for its own sake. ואומר לפני העולם תורה לשמה מוכרים להם כל אבותיהם, and then all wrongdoings are actually annulled or forgiven. וזהו שמרומז גם כן וכיפר על בני ישראל מכל חטאתם אחת בשנה. And this is hinted back to the original verse from the Parsha, אחרי מות. In the verse, he's quoting it here, וכיפר, and the Kohen atoned for the people of Israel, mikol chatatam achat b'shana, from all of their wrongdoings once a year, pirush, shemachnis achat. Then the Kohen is bringing the oneness into the process, into his process. Shehu echad alufo shel olam b'shana, which is the one who is the master of the universe in a year, meaning hainu belimudo, because the word shana means also to study. So Mishnah means study. Shana has a double entendre, it's a double meaning. So the word shana means study from the word Mishnah, and it also means year, which is referring to the dimension of time. So don't read it the high priest atones for the people of Israel once a year. No, high priest atones for the people of Israel by bringing the one into his shana, into his study. אז יצלו בחינת יום הכיפורים, מוכלים לו כל עוונותיו, and this is the deeper meaning of what the priest is doing on Yom Kippur, and how the power of study as a spiritual practice, study for its own sake, becomes a clearinghouse, a atonement process that clears the slate for the mistakes that I have done, that you may have done. Anything that has gone wrong can be purified through plunging into study. And here we are. And so there's something so almost tautological, because it's self-reflective. Here we are studying about study and about the power of study, and it's just exciting because for two reasons. Again, as I started, I really bless you and ask for the blessing for myself, that I can study for the sake of study, for the joy of sharing Torah, engaging with the depth, with the magic of the words and the sentences. And I'm just tickled that a sentence that means one thing, with the help of the great Degel Machne Ephraim, Rabbi Moshe Chaim Ephraim, we see that it hints to something completely different. And both are valid. As it says, there's Shiv'im Panim LaTorah, there are 70 different faces to any one verse in Torah. Today we touched on 2. So thank you so much. It's such a privilege to share Torah with you and reflect on the deep power of Torah and of study. And the purifying effect that the unconditioned engagement of the heart and mind with the heart and mind of our people's zeitgeist, the Torah. This is the accumulated wisdom of years, of generations, of holy, highly developed teachers from, across millennia, and obviously the inspiration that comes above, the vertical connection between the upper realms and our realm. This is our channel, and we're blessed for it. Do I really need to put in a plug for Torah? I don't think so. I think it speaks for itself. But I just want to express the joy that I'm feeling right now in the opportunity to study with you. So let's all be blessed. I'm Rabbi Reuben Modik with Makom Halev Community in Nyack, New York, and with Hebrew Learning Circles, which is our very unique educational program. We bring Torah to the homes for children and adults. Would love to hear your thoughts. Please comment, questions, your opinions, your objections. Elu ve'elu divrei Elohim chaim. All words in the context of Torah are the words of the living Spirit. And if you are in the New York area, drop by or drop a note. We're in Nyack, New York. Join us for an event. Come back tomorrow for more Torah, or the next day. I can't promise, but almost every day I'll be studying together with you folks out there. This is our online community in cyberspace. Please like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And with that, we're going to say goodbye. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.